All right, hi everyone. Hello, beautiful queens. Okay, so I am so happy and blessed to be in London because actually I have a little backstory to share. Clara had reached out to me a couple of months ago, and I was actually manifesting a trip to London. I was actually talking to a friend about flying to London, and here I am. When Clara and I connected, I said I could not pass this up because I actually passed up another speaking opportunity in California. So anyways, I'm here, and I'm here to share my story. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Angeline, and I am a women's empowerment coach, podcast host, and speaker of Let's Break the Silence with Angeline. So my backstory, let me take you to back in time where I felt like I lost everything. So have you ever been in a position where you've lost everything? Yes. Okay. So when I felt that I lost everything, that's when I realized that I had to claim victory in my life and step into my purpose. So the backstory is that I went through domestic violence. I'm a domestic violence survivor, and I claimed victory. Thank you. I claimed victory 16 years ago, and this was when I was back in New York, and I used to be married to the person who I thought was going to be the love of my life. We worked in New York City. I generated six-figure income in advertising sales, but then something happened, and I felt like my whole world nearly collapsed. And what that was you know that feeling like when you're driving somewhere? I was driving to the bank, and my stomach was in knots, and my mind was racing because I knew I needed money. I needed money to get out of my marriage. So when I got to the bank, I stepped outside, went inside the bank, and I said to the teller, I need to withdraw some money. She said, there's no money in the account. I said, what do you mean by that? She said, there's no money in the account. Your husband, soon to be ex-husband, withdrew $100,000. So I was left broke. Like I literally had $20 in my purse. And I was like, and I'm not working right now. At this point, I'm not working because I lost a corporate job, and I was like, oh my God, what do I do now? Like, what do I do now? So that was a very pivoting moment for me. So I drove back home. I looked in the mirror and I said to myself, Angeline, you need to stop playing the victim. I stopped playing the victim, and I decided to write out a $5,000 check to my attorney to start divorce proceedings. And that was the last $5,000 that I had in my bank account. So I was living like a gypsy, but then something just happened. We got divorced a year later, and I hired a mentor and a coach because I had a burning desire inside of myself to share my story with the world. There were like a lot of limiting beliefs that were holding me back from sharing my story, because I felt that I needed to share my story, because domestic violence is a subject that people do not want to talk about. Yes. It's silent, like Danielle was talking about. I mean, sitting in that car crying, I mean, I just felt worthless. My sense of self-worth just went down the toilet. And I just said, you know, for me, I had to step into my purpose. So fast forward 6 years ago, I started my podcast, Let's Break the Silence with Angeline, because I knew that I had a vision and a dream to empower other women from all over the world to share their real life stories of how they of how they overcame domestic violence. And for me, you know, a lot of it was, you know, for me, I lacked a sense of self-worth and confidence, and I had to do a lot of shadow work, inner work, and that resulted in me identifying my true purpose, because I was working in corporate America, several jobs, but they weren't aligning with my true purpose. Yes, I did make money, but what's the sense of making a lot of money when you're not in alignment?
Amen.
Thank you. Thank you, Margaret.
100%.
Thank you so much. So I started my podcast. I brought on guests who actually went through domestic violence and are now empowering people's lives. I started to get outside of myself. I actually started to take yoga. So yoga and Pilates and dancing, and I did, and I said, whoa, and then I would go out to a restaurant and eat dinner by myself, and I was like, wow, dining alone can be very tranquil. I'm like, I can do this now. I can do this. I can do this. I mean, so I did it. It took a year. The whole divorce process took a year, and yes, while it took its toll mentally on me, but I knew that I was destined for greatness. I invested myself into personal development. I did a lot of healing work, energy work, and I grew spiritually, and my finances started to grow again, and I realized that I was meant to be in this room today. And we are called to places. We are called to rewrite our stories, because that's what it's all about, everyone. Share your story. Don't be afraid. Don't be ashamed to share your story, because we as women are powerful. And your story will have an impact on other people's lives. You never know who's scrolling on social media. So in March of 2018, I shared my story on social media. I went live with the camera. Yes, I was nervous. I was like this in my one-bedroom apartment. And guess what? 7 million views later. 7 million views later. And my very good friend here, Margaret over here, she connected with me, been friends for a long time, but actually meeting her in person, she has a story to share. So do the thing that is scared. If you have a passion of sharing your story and empowering other women, share your story, because guess what? I mean, I'm a believer in God, and God created the universe, and the universe rewards action. The universe rewards action. So take that leap of faith. Take that step. Because I went from being broken, overwhelmed, lost, into stepping into this room right now that I was destined to be in. And this is all thanks to Clara. And I can tell you something, Clara is amazing, and she is such an amazing leader and mentor, but this is real and raw. This is, you know, I had to do a lot of self-reflection, but this is real and raw. I mean, this is, we are all meant to be here and to empower other women and to connect and support each other. And that's it. That's it.
This is what I always say, guys, right? How many of us are afraid to actually reach out to someone and put our services in front of them? And we're like, oh, they might think I'm trying to pitch them, or I just want to get money from them. But actually, what if they're manifesting the very thing that you have to offer? The very thing that could be what they're waiting for. And if you don't show yourself to them, then they can never find you. And so, Angeline, I want to ask you,
yes,
making that decision to fly from Florida all the way to London
yes,
to take to a stage unlike any other, how has that experience felt for you? And being here in the moment now, what is coming through for you?
What's coming for me is freedom, liberation, and breaking free. Yeah. Breaking the chains. Breaking the chains. Break the chains, ladies. No, this is what it did for me. A huge breakthrough. And I love London, and in 2 days I'm flying to Greece. So talk about another trip of a lifetime. Oppa! So guess what? Yeah, it's a total breakthrough for me. And this is it. This is it.
Oh my gosh. And I need to hug you again.